Welcome to another episode Out of the Blank Podcast, take 473. I'm here with Riley.
What's up, man? Good morning. Nice bright and early morning podcast.
Nothing is going correct today. I swear. Everything is wrong. I feel like I'm in a movie. Too much information has been revealed to me recently. And I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? How do I get to the ending where I'm hugging Brad Pitt and we're like sitting on a park bench and he's telling me it's going to be okay to die?
Brad Pitt's a gem, by the way.
He's amazing.
He's aging like gold too. He's just like,
God, I'm not gonna lie. He did a Zoom meeting where they were doing like a script read, and I saw him, and I'm pretty sure everyone that has seen this video is paying attention to Shia LaBeouf because
I saw that.
He's lost his shit, I would say, but
oh yeah,
I think he played perfectly into his character with he was supposed to be like a stoner in high school, Matthew McConaughey's character.
Yeah.
So he was like, I might as well smoke actual weed. And then everyone else is like, all right,
we're Hollywood actors now.
yeah,
Let's do this professionally.
I mean, I thought he did an amazing job. I think the only person that did bad was what's that dude that played on the God, what's his name? He's a famous actor.
What was he in?
Hubie Halloween.
He's Adam Sandler?
No, was Adam Sandler in it?
Hubie Halloween?
Well, yeah, he's in Hubie Halloween, but not in the Zoom call thing. It was that one dude who played Torello was his last name or something. He played in Goodfellas.
No. Wait, who in Hubie Halloween was he? My Hubie Halloween Wikipedia.
He called him Hubie. That's what his name was.
Hubie. Tim Meadows.
That's his name, Tim Meadows?
Is it the black guy who in
he's white.
Grown Ups too? Okay.
He
plays... Ray Liotta.
Yeah, Ray Liotta. I'm about to say his name is not Tim Meadows because I'm like, you can't play in Goodfellas with a name like Tim Meadows. Like, you look at that guy, Ray Liotta. He's got a mafia face.
He does.
He's that type of person that I feel like if I screwed him over on like maybe a bad coupon deal, like at the grocery store, like, hey sir,
would you
like to buy one, get two free orange? And he's like, wow, that's a great deal. Sure, I'd love that coupon. He goes to scan it. Sir, this coupon expired about 4 months ago. He just looks over like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're like, my life is in danger. Yeah. How'd we get here? Brad Pitt, handsome guy.
That's what I'm saying. He's a man of gold and he should be our man of steel. I'm telling you.
That'd be interesting. I feel like he's just too famous.
I mean... yeah. I mean, everybody knows who Brad Pitt is. I'm pretty sure everybody's probably had a sexual fantasy about the man.
Guilty.
Him and Ryan Reynolds are up there with, I'm telling you, if I was going to make a movie about my life, I'd want to be played by Ryan Reynolds, but I'd want like the stern companion to be Brad Pitt because I feel
we know damn well if there was a movie made about you that you would be played by Tom Holland. Let's get one thing
You
straight.
Called me the... God, I wasn't ready.
The first time we messaged, you sent the photo. I was like, yo, you look like Walmart brand Spider-Man.
What is the Walmart thing? Like, I don't understand the Walmart comment.
Well, listen, Robbie, you're very handsome, but like Tom Holland, he's Tom Holland.
He's yeah, but that's makeup too. I want to see him without makeup. He probably has a blank tire. He probably has bags under his eyes like I do.
Listen, this is no disrespect. All right, you know what? You're the working man's Tom Holland.
I'll take that one.
Is that better than Walmart?
It's funny because like my aunt texted my mom because apparently he's in some new movie on Netflix.
he's doing Uncharted. He's being Nathan Drake from the PlayStation series.
The man can even grow facial hair. I mean, I can't complain, but the whole factor of like my aunt texted, my mom was like, I didn't know Robbie was doing acting. My mom's like, what are you talking about? And she sends a photo of like her TV of one of the scenes on Netflix. And my mom's like, oh my God, you know who you look like? And she sent it to me and I was like, fucking Tom Holland. She's like,
this bitch says to me, Tom Holland.
I was like, no. And she's like, it's amazing. You look just like him. And I'm like, why do you hurt me? I don't think she does not listen to the podcast. I know that, or she would know how much I hate that man.
Do you really hate Tom Holland?
I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of Tobey Maguire. And I know you're a fan of Spider-Man because now I'm starting to notice that you moved your head. You have 50 million Funko Pops that are all, which is funny because this is my buddy's favorite movie. He drags me to the Tom Holland features and I hate every moment of it.
You hate that? Like hate?
I'm a fan of the movie Venom, and a lot of people hate that movie.
I like Venom too. I thought Venom was fun.
I thought it was like enjoyable, like a little bit different, but I think because it's not like the mainstream style stuff, like people don't enjoy it as much. Like they want to
Yeah.
see someone they can be like, that's Spider-Man. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's Venom. Like that's the to me that was a better version of Eddie Brock than they did in Spider-Man 3.
The Topher Grace.
That was bad.
Do
Dude.
you mean to tell me that Tom Hardy is a better actor than Topher Grace?
I kept waiting for like Red Foreman to come out of nowhere and be like, I'm gonna stick my foot up your ass. Like I was
That's a
waiting
bold
for that.
hill to die on, Robbie. Unpopular opinion, I think Tom Hardy is a little bit better of an actor than Topher Grace.
I think with Topher Grace, they should make him Carnage. I think that would be like a really good fitting. I think
a good homage.
Well, Tom Hardy has like the closer body style to what Venom would represent if he was like.
I think they've already teased Carnage at the end of it was at the end of Homecoming, so the first Tom Holland one. It's Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson's going to be Carnage?
Yeah.
The guy that played in the bowling movie?
The bowling? I mean, he's been in a lot of movies.
I don't know. All I remember is him with the prosthetic hand. I thought that was real.
I need to see Woody Harrelson bowling.
It's Pin King, I think, with Bill. What's his name? Bill Murray.
It's Kingpin, yeah. Kingpin. Okay.
Whose house would you rather live? Okay. Question for
you. What a pull for Woody Harrelson as you pull Kingpin from 1996.
That's a good memory.
Of all the movies you could have pulled, yeah, you know what? Kingpin. Not Zombieland.
Zombieland, yeah, but I only remember him from Kingpin. Really.
White Men Can't Jump.
I pulled Bill Murray from Zombieland. Does that count?
That's another weird pull.
I could say Ghostbusters, but honestly, when I think Ghostbusters, I think Rick Moranis.
That's true.
He's a good.
You see someone punched Rick Moranis in the face?
Yeah, I was gonna mention it, but I didn't know how sensitive of a topic it was because I was just like, I don't know. I don't know why they would punch Rick. Like, pick the guy who, honestly, if you were gonna pick to fight any celebrity, I would pick Rick Moranis because I know he wouldn't throw a punch back.
Yeah, but also like, he's the most huggable person in Hollywood.
It's like punching Bill Gates, but everybody thinks Bill Gates is the devil. I'm just not happy that he wants me to take a vaccine. That's all.
Yeah. I have a weird story here. I have a buddy who, I guess there's a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot. And I didn't know this existed.
It wasn't that good the first time.
It was a series, I guess. I guess they turned it into a TV show series. And my buddy goes, guys, I'm dating the daughter of the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And we're like, yo, you're dating Rick Moranis' daughter? I was like, you're dating the reason Rick Moranis left show business? Like, he's like, what? No, the series. I was like, you can't open with, I'm dating the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids' daughter. You have to be like the TV series.
That's like when my dad dropped on me. He goes, I dated Mike Rowe's sister. I'm like, Mike Rowe? He's like, the guy from Dirty Jobs. I'm like, no fucking. He's like, yeah, that was before he was climbing into like shit. I was like,
that's when he was a carpenter.
Back in high school, I took his sister to the prom. I'm like, so if I tell and I started telling people, I was like thinking that was like a great homage to be like, hey, did you know my dad dated Mike Rowe's sister? And like, your dad dated Mike Rowe? I'm like, oh no, that's not how this goes. I got to rephrase this question.
We have that. If you talk to anyone who's like 55, and so in my hometown, I'm from where Adam Sandler grew up.
So you're an Adam Sandler fan.
He's our pride and joy. We almost have to be. Like, he's our only thing out of New Hampshire. Like,
I don't think I have anything out of my town. Honestly, if I was gonna say my town, but my state, Maryland, Baltimore.
Yep.
The whole Maryland thing. I got Ryan Sickler, one of my favorite comedians. So I'm happy.
I watched him on no, he was on Two Bears, One Cave yesterday.
One Bear, One Melon is what they called it.
Oh, but Adam Sandler, if you talk to any woman who's like, or any guy, anyone in the age of like 50 to 58, like around where Adam Sandler is, everyone at least knows someone who dated Adam Sandler. It's one of those like, oh, well, my cousin's great aunt dated Adam Sandler or went to prom with Adam. Like, it's just one of those. Everything like trails back. You're like, yeah, okay. Everyone dated Adam Sandler.
It's like a name drop. Like I'm the great descendant of Genghis Khan. It's like so is like 1/3 of the population down here.
Yeah, like my mom's best friend's girlfriend's daughter's aunt dated Adam Sandler in high school. You're like, fucking
Twice
cool,
removed. Twice removed. I knew them when. Oh my God. I have a question for you. So here's the big one. Now that I know you're a Spider-Man fan, is the Spider-Man 3, the new one, the universe one happening like with Tobey Maguire and everything? Or is this all just like fantasy talk?
I don't know. Cause there's like rumors that Sony has contracts now with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I don't know how true they are. I think it'd be cool. That whole thing's fucked up with the Sony Marvel situation though, because then each of them wants to be like, well, they're mine and all that shit. So I don't really know.
What situation?
So Sony owns Spider-Man.
Okay.
So he's not technically like Marvel doesn't own Spider-Man. So they had like a lease agreement almost like a rent him out situation for him to be in all the Avengers stuff and like for them to make the movies and incorporate Iron Man in them with them and stuff. And then there was a whole debacle like 2 years ago, where Sony was like, you know what, we're going to take them back. You can't use them anymore. Like I think this was like right before Infinity War too. So like right before like the climax of Marvel. And then there was this whole thing where then Tom Holland was like, all right, cool. I'm going to drop off as Spider-Man then. Peace. And there was a whole argument. He's like, good. But yeah, there was this whole like they've been just in like contractual hell for like 2 years.
This is how things get ruined, is that like two things can't agree. Next thing you know, what is it? Hall & Oates, they split up and then good music is gone forever. So we just have to sit there and be like, when are you guys getting back together? When are we going to see the unification again so I can watch my favorite series and binge on Netflix? That's some fucking guy, that Tom Holland piece of shit. Tobey Maguire was a way better Spider-Man. I don't care.
I like both aspects. I grew up on Tobey, like we grew up.
He's a hero character, and I don't like it because Tom Holland flips back and forth between a nice guy and then a bad guy in all these different movies. It's like
he's just a dingus. Like he's a stupid high schooler. Like that's
what I'm saying is I don't see the seasoning. You see the seasoning on a person's face. You look at my face, you see seasoning. You're like, this kid's been through some shit. And then you look at like somebody like Tom Holland, or you look at someone that like from the Glee TV show, and you're like, you guys haven't been through shit. The only time they ever went through something was when the one kid did a lot of drugs and he OD'd, which is terrible. But
I think that's happened to like 3 Glee kids now.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta have trauma. You gotta come back from that. Come back to me after you went through your road to recovery.
You need to have a smoking weed and light hard drugs phase before you dive into hard drugs.
Sniff cocaine off a toilet seat and do bath salts without a bath. That is what you need to do to experience life, my friend.
To my point, I think Tom Holland plays the new Spider-Man well. Like a just got his powers, like still in high school. I think he plays the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man better. And I think Tobey Maguire plays the superhero, like I'm the man Spider-Man better.
Do you want me to give you my actual feelings about the Spider-Man situation?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Tom Holland is the best representation of what Spider-Man is in high school. Definitely. Yes. 100% of when maybe the first few movies. But I was like, let's age the actors a little bit. Unless I thought it was pretty cool when Gotham, that show that came out on Netflix, when they would like take you with the same actors, but it would be like a year or two apart. And you get to see their growth. Like I saw freaking the woman that was supposed to be Catwoman. She had puberty, or she hit her whatever, or she grew her female features. And I was like, damn. Like I was not attracted to you at all in the beginning. Now now it's like you're in your 20s and I can see that. But it was like I caught that at like the end of the 8th season with Tom Holland. It's like they're trying to rush him through the movies, And I'm like, at this point, he should be at least in like his like late 20s by now, the way they've evolved with the movie progression, which is perfect for Tobey Maguire. But nobody wants him because everybody wants to bitch about the stupid scene he was in where he's dancing outside of the thing. I enjoyed that. I fucking loved that. I loved it when he jumped on the piano. I loved it when he was a complete badass. I thought it was crazy. Like, I was like, Spider-Man 3 is probably my favorite, which everyone shits on.
What?
Yeah. I've had this discussion before. Everybody hates Spider-Man 3. I don't know why.
That is certainly a mountain to die on, but I like that you stick with it. You're like, listen, 1 and 2, that's most of people's favorites. You're like, you know what I like? 3.
I think right now, if we're gonna pick a moment, like I like to look at the time period we're in right now, like what's going on in the world. I like to correlate it with movies because a lot of this shit is literally running like a movie.
Yeah.
I think right now we're in Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
You got Bill Gates, who's Professor Octavius. He's putting on the arms and shit. And they're like, power it down. He's like, I can't. I'm too fucking powerful. And then next thing you know, it's like, it's going to turn into this whole scenario. We're still waiting for like this.
We're waiting for Topher Grace.
We're waiting for somebody to come the new enemy. I don't know who it is.
The Russians.
Probably. Honestly, it's probably everybody trying to take us down if you want to get into that. But
they're like, hey, you guys want to team up real quick? These guys stink.
I was like, yeah, I just think we built up a character. It's like building up a superhero, and then now we're watching the fall because now there's shoes to fill, and nobody can fill the shoes. You know who could have filled them? Adam West. Adam West isn't around anymore.
That's a shame.
I miss Adam West.
Adam West was that dude.
He was a supporter of Honey Smacks.
He was a supporter of Honey Smacks.
A Family Guy.
I only know that via Family Guy.
Nobody else gets that. I'm glad you caught that. Everybody's like, what do you mean he's a supporter of Honey Smacks? I'm like, he wanted to build a giant statue of Diggum, and that's the person we need to elect. Is we need someone that is going to build amazing stuff for us to keep our eyes off the real situations, which is that we're all...
Adam West will always be the mayor, and he will always be Catman from Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay, I'm going to give you a budget. My budget is is $80 billion. Okay, this is your budget. You get to devise your town however you want to build your town. How are you going to build your town, and what are you going to call it? You have to think of a name first.
Fuck.
I'm going to call it Town.
Gordy Town.
Can you imagine your GPS being like, fuck, is on your left turn in 50 feet? You're like, sounds terrible.
You're like, You're like, man, this place is either really cool or really bad. Okay, yeah, I'm going to call it Gordy Town. That means fat but cute chubby town in Spanish. I assume I'm just adding town to the end. So
who is living in your town? What is your economic stability package? Where are you putting in your finances? Are they going towards education? Are they going towards fracking? How are you dealing with the issues that you have?
They're all going to bringing back Adam West so he can then be the mayor of Gordy Town.
So all of your stuff is going into Frankenstein type technology.
Yeah, there's just like one big building. Like you can tell it's one of those like government buildings where you're like some shit's going on in there. It's just one of those on like a main road, and most of the town is parking lot. And then people commute to me, obviously, because we don't deal with housing. And yeah, all the money.
Sleep?
They commute. They commute to this big building.
Fucking far is the commute?
Depends. Depends. And in this building, we're working on. I mean, you could say it's to bring back anyone, but really for Adam West. So then we can, once this becomes big, we can mainstream it, sell it as a product with like subscription base, like Microsoft does.
There's just pictures of Adam West everywhere. But it's like, what's this about? That's our main project that we're working on. Is really just like, you have the cure to bring back animals. Why don't you just bring back some animals? You know how many people would pay to get their pets brought back to life? And you're like,
yeah. So
now
that's phase 2. Phase 1 is Adam West. Don't jump the gun here. So once we bring back Adam West, we then, like I said, we sell it as a subscription-based method, such as Microsoft, get Xbox Game Pass.
That's fucking terrible. So people have to wait every month. You have to pay for Adam West to be alive, or
no. So now we have the technology required to bring someone back, but also we can end it just like that. So you got to keep paying to keep them alive.
That's like the movie Repo Man, where you get your. That's why I just You helped me realize the internal reason why I hate and am deathly afraid of surgery. If it came to surgery at any point in my life, fucking kill me. I don't care. Because if they give you an artificial organ, then you have to pay it off like fucking Rent-A-Center. Oh my God. I couldn't do it. Like every payment, and if you miss a payment, they could just take it back from you.
Can you imagine that? Getting your fucking getting your artificial heart repoed.
That movie, I think, is probably going to happen at some point in our time period. It's going to turn to that point where it's like, you got the new what is it? The Tesla kidneys. I gotta take back. Gotta take fucking Lay Riota, whatever his name is, comes out and goes, let me get the fucking kidneys. Just the head. It's the rest of his body is robotic.
Okay, so that though, once Adam West is back, he's mayor now. We have infinite cash flow because money is just coming in nonstop.
We're back on your town.
We're back. Okay. All right. Money is coming in nonstop because people have to pay for the subscription to keep their loved ones around. And then we actually build a town, and Adam West does whatever he sees fit.
So it's a town built upon necrophilia?
No, necromancing more.
Isn't that looked down upon by a lot of people?
Adam West is the necromancer, is what this story ends with.
That's a really good, you should be writing this down for like an actual plot movie.
Listen, we have a whole segment called Writer's Room where we just write movies on our show.
Well, why don't you explain the show a little bit? I feel like we talked a lot about other things.
Listen, Tom Holland needs to be talked about.
Is that what the whole show's about? I hope not, because the last.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Tom Holland podcast.
Oh, I hope he starts a podcast. I would love to get him on this one just so I can sit there and berate the crap out of him for how he's ruined
listen
my
here,
life.
you little punk.
It started like 3 years ago. I don't know what happened that day, but every time I was at work at a hotel, some dude was like, I would drop off like towels to a room, and some guy goes, "You know who you look like?" And I'm like, "Is it Tom Holland?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you look just like that guy. I got to get a picture with you." And it started people taking selfies with me. I'm like, "Am I a fucking Elvis impersonator?" Like,
how often does someone take a photo of you?
No, that doesn't happen now because everybody's wearing a mask. You can't see the exact facial features. Dude, all right, my buddy.
Yeah, true. Your only like thing differentiating is the little soul patch.
That's why I keep it. I messaged him. I said, look, you have to, on Twitter, I messaged him. I called him out for everybody. I said, look, you have to be better for both of us and grow some facial features or facial hair because I can't with the chin hair. It's all I can do right now. I gotta grow a mustache or something. I bet he saw it, didn't reply back because that's the type of guy he is. If I'm not talking about his dog,
yeah, little dickhead.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because somebody photoshopped my face. You know how they do the photo things on movie scenes?
Yep.
And it was a dude taking off the Spider-Man mask, and it was my face. But I didn't know. I saw it, and I saw that they're making a Spider-Man video game. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, this is Spider-Man, obviously.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's the Tom Holland version for the video game that everyone's upset about. So I was like, I was like, why are you sending me this? It's Tom Holland. He goes, bro, I photoshopped your face on there. And I said, what? And then as he rips off the mask, they're like, dude, no, you didn't. I sent it to my mom. My mom goes, I know my own kid. That is not you. I said, it is me. She said, how do you know? I said, the nose, because I have one distinct feature about my nose. Or it's my left nostril's a little bit closed because I got in an accident when I was a kid.
Yep.
And it was on the video, and I said, that's me. And she was like, I still don't fucking believe you. I was like, you don't even know your own kid.
That's incredible.
It's upsetting. I could have looked like anybody. I'd rather look like fucking Gary Busey.
I don't think that you want.
You could have more fun with Gary Busey.
You could fuck with people a lot. You could get away with a lot of shit.
Because you're mentally insane.
Yeah,
that's why.
As a Gary Busey look like. Okay.
Kind of look like Markiplier.
I do.
From this angle.
So I have a beard 90% of the time, but then we do I'll finally parlay this into the podcast. So I'm the host of the Plunge Podcast. And a few others. We got a bunch of sub shows and stuff. But for 3 years now, we've done Movember. So you get a mustache, it's Sportsmen's Health. And I usually have a beard. So yesterday I trimmed it down. I call this the Neil.
Is it
where you
Neil
ca-
November?
No, well, I just look like my name would be Neil right now with with both goatee thing and mustache. So what I do is I get rid of the side beard to adjust to some chin, some chin cheek.
Get leverage.
Yeah, you just to get my face used to like, oh, okay, that's my double chin. I haven't, you got to keep the beard as a chubby guy, hide the double chin. So now I got to adjust, see the double chin, and then to Sunday now, I'll get rid of this and I'll just have the mustache, and then I'll be fully adjusted. It's about acclimation. You know how like on Mount Everest, you got to go up and down and up and down and like adjust to the elevation. That's what I'm doing, but with beard and mustache.
You're terraforming.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't say a Neil. I'd say you look like an Owen. Like you went to summer camp, but like you were the guy at summer camp that would like, hey guys, I could take this milk, and you spit it out your nose. Like the fun guy.
The fun guy at summer camp. The one Brad.
We're gonna call you Owen, but you're not. You're the fun guy in the fun way. Like, hey, he's gonna do the truffle shuffle on the diving board. Not the guy that's like, hey, let's go back to my cabin late at night and have some fun. You're like,
yo, Owen's gonna ride a piece of wood on the fire. Come check it out,
bro. Just yeah. That was a big thing back in the day, was like summer camp. I remember everybody was like, we're going to summer camp. I wouldn't ever go to a summer camp. You're a psychopath if you did go.
So I went to a summer camp.
No fucking way.
I went to a summer camp, but I was a fucking obese child. And the name of this camp was Camp Fatima. So every time I told people I was going to summer camp and they asked where, I told them Camp Fatima. It's not a fat camp, but it's like a Catholic camp, but it has a fat name. So everyone's like, oh man, you're going to fat camp? I'm like, no, I'm not going to fat camp.
God.
They're like, what, you gonna swim all day, lose weight, and eat burgers?
I remember
everyone just be like, oh, you're in the movie Heavyweights, huh? Like, fuck off.
I remember I wanted to go to summer camp when Total Drama Island came out. I was like, you know how that awesome that would be to be at like a thing where you do challenges and then people get voted off the island. I mean, I'm that type of character. Like if I was gonna put myself in a movie, I wouldn't make it to the end. I'd definitely die before, but I would be one of the last ones. I would say, like probably like fourth. Fourth is a decent number. It's like not too commending to oneself, and it's also not like I hate myself. Also.
Dude, summer camp's terrifying. My counselor got mauled by a bear and had to leave our cabin early.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, like it was like a 2-week camp. He had to leave midway. We had to get a new counselor because he was out like every night. The counselors go hang out at the fire, probably drink and fuck and stuff. But he got mauled by a bear coming back. And that's right outside our door. Our door that is like a light wooden door that's just secured by a small hook. Like,
oh my God.
They just put a bunch of 11-year-olds. That's one of those things where you look back when you're like, man, my babysitter, I thought she was like 30 and she was really like 14. It's one of those where you probably look back, you're like, yeah, I was 11 and our camp counselor was probably like 17.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how many times have like I watched what is it, Wet Hot American Summer when on Netflix redid
the
it
remake.
Yeah,
I was like, it was funny.
But it showed a lot of things. Like, thank God there are some things about society that's evolved in a very good way. Like, why did we ever think like sending your kids to the Boy Scouts or something was a good thing? Like, yeah, we understand the basic principle behind it, but you're sending a bunch of kids out into the middle of the woods, like with a grown stranger
who's very good at tying knots.
That's the first problem.
Yeah. No one should be good at tying knots.
Oh, we learned. I got my badge for foraging in the woods. Like that, to me, it's just like it's all a scam too. Boy Scouts and all that. It's all about selling cookies and shit.
You're sending your children out with someone who is excellent in hiding. Like,
oh God, that's like when the Michael Jackson Netflix documentary came out, and there were all those parents that were like, we didn't know he was that bad of a guy. It's like he had a fucking
like, yeah, you did.
Playground, a fair thing in his backyard. Well, he never had a childhood. Doesn't matter. You don't go building Ferris wheels in your back fucking yard.
But he only liked to stare at the buttholes.
He even had a churro stand. Like, what the fuck?
Imagine being Michael Jackson's churro stand employee. You're just like, yeah, man, I chill here and I watch the merry-go-round, and sometimes I give Michael and Macaulay Culkin churros, and then I go home.
He's probably like, no, I have to unlock the back door so he can go back there and have his private time.
Oh, it's terrifying. Macaulay Culkin's like, I don't know, man. He was great to me.
He's a great
Macaulay
guy.
Culkin's just, he's like Michael Jackson. He's like, I'm gonna not rape Macaulay Culkin. So then everyone will be like, well, if Macaulay says it's fine, you know.
The fucking guy from Home Alone, who's like
Yeah.
on everything is him like astonished. Like you would think that would be like the perfect. Oh, that's probably why he had enough media to kind of. I'm not gonna crap on Michael Jackson. He's an amazing artist. There's going to be people out there like, we love him. I'm like, it's the same thing with Bill Cosby. Everyone that loves Bill Cosby, there's a page on Instagram that says Bill Cosby's innocent. I'm like, sir.
No, you can dissociate the two. Be like, he's a terrible human being who did horrible things. He also was pretty funny for a while.
And besides all the bad things he did to the women, he took off Little Rascal so you can't see it anymore. That's why I hate him. I think that's terrible.
Did he?
Yeah, he bought everything that was owned of Little Rascals. You can't get it anywhere, and he shelved
Put it in a vault.
He shelved it. He said, nope, he's basically censored it all. And you're like, why? And he goes, this represents racism or something. I'm like,
wait, so he is in no part associated with Little Rascals? He just bought the rights to take
no, he
it away?
created it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Bill Cosby also created Fat Albert.
I knew that.
I watched the movie Fat Albert, and then I found out their last name, and I was like, oh my God, we're related.
Really?
Their last name's Robertson.
Wait, your name's Robbie Robertson?
Fuck off. I've gotten that for like 20 years. I don't need to hear it anymore. I'm out of high school.
Is your name Robbie or are you Robert?
That is
You're Robert.
Undisclosed.
You're Robert Robertson, aren't you?
That makes my neck stand up when like the neck hairs stand up when you say it like that. I only get called that when someone's yelling at me.
That's a sick name. I would like if I was Riley Rileyson.
There's a guitar player named Robbie Robertson.
Really?
He's apparently making a comeback right now. He's pretty popular.
What, is he in a band, I assume?
He was in one of apparently to a lot of people that have heard of him. It's like the Grateful Dead. If you don't listen to the Grateful Dead, then you don't give a shit about their music. But then there's a whole group of people that are like, I fucking love the Dead.
Oh, they're ride or die.
Yeah, I don't. That means nothing to me. I don't know who they are.
Wait, so he's in Grateful Dead?
No. He's like the Grateful Dead, like band wise. Like he's created a lot of outstanding music that a lot of people enjoy, but to me, I don't know who he is because I don't care to listen to any of the shit. Same thing with Grateful Dead. I'm not on drugs. I don't really care for the music that much.
Like I don't wear drug rugs and do PCP in Fenway Park.
I never said I didn't do that. I just said I don't like the Grateful Dead.
Fair.
I think that's what more people need. Take drugs in a park. I don't do drugs, but just sit in a park. Throw rocks at old people having fun.
I love parks.
It's not that bad. Honestly, my thought was we could probably create a lot less tension in the world if we made more of them and took down some of these stores like fucking Rent-A-Center. Like we shouldn't have that anymore.
You really hate Rent-A-Center.
I don't think you should take 4 years to pay off your couch. That is ridiculous. I don't know why people in my family do it.
I just bought a couch like a month ago and they told me it'd be here like today. And then they're like, well, we're making masks, so it's going to be another month. And I was like, oh, and they're like, yeah, we're out of supplies. And then they're like, it's going to be December now. And I paid for that couch up front. So I'm just taking it that I'm going to get a free couch for Christmas at this point.
Whatever happened to when you used to be able to buy the floor model?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me do that.
They don't do that anymore. I don't know why. I think it's because like they realize they have to pay somebody to take an hour out of their time to reset up another one since you bought the floor model. Yeah,
and I guarantee they're just like, well, COVID, people have sat on that, so we can't give it to you.
What?
I don't fucking know.
Everything is blamed on COVID. I hate it. I'm like,
everything is blamed on COVID right now.
It's the dumbest thing. Like, oh my God, it's raining. I blame the COVID. I'm like, no.
The snow right now? COVID.
It's snowing where you're at?
Yeah, a little bit, little dusting.
I'm literally in a hurricane mode right now. We are having a hurricane.
So you have a hurricane, I have snow. That doesn't seem to add up.
I don't think climate change is real either. Honestly, did you hear the new Joe Rogan podcast with Alex Jones?
I haven't listened, no.
I'm not a big supporter of it, but he redefined climate change in a way that I've never even thought of. So actually, all the carbon emissions that are being produced is actually a good thing. And the
How is
reason
it?
why is the increase in carbon dioxide. It's good for plants, but it's bad for human life, for our existence.
Yep.
Back in the day, there were higher carbon dioxide levels when the dinosaurs roamed. There was less oxygen levels. That's why plants were so huge. So when all these, like, they started pulling up articles and facts, I guarantee, please, if anybody, if I'm paraphrasing this, of course, anybody listening wants to go look up this episode, listen to what he's saying, and actually look it up. There's a lot of information on it. But with all the plants that were big back in the day, it's the same thing happening now. People that, since the carbon dioxide levels are so high up, well, actually, they're pretty low compared to our oxygen levels. They're still a little bit up there, but they're rising, I would say. It increases temperature, and it increases a bunch of things that are threat to human life, but really good for plant life. Plants are growing bigger, and like peppers. People every year, somebody's like, "I made the world's biggest fucking pepper," and they're pulling up a pepper, and it's like, that makes sense because of how high the carbon emissions have gone. This is what this is going to create, is probably terraform the planet again, to where we're having these giant ass plants and overgrowth of plants. But as humans, we're still placing our mark. We're still taking shit down. That's why you see all the global climate change ads out there, and all these people that are like, climate change, protect the environment. The environment's doing pretty well. The only thing that's hurting is ice, polar bears, and us because of the temperature. But everything else is like fucking trees growing. They grow bigger and better, not only because of the technology we're using, because there's so much more emissions out there. I'm like, is this fucking true? I started Googling it. Yeah, it's a giant media thing to protect the extinction of man, so we don't go through like another ice age.
I kind of fuck with reducing the amount of humans and just having dope, like,
I would love a 3-headed ficus plant. Are you kidding me?
yeah, it'd be just straight terraform life.
Well, that's what you saw. They had glimpses of it in Journey to the Center of the Earth,
Yeah.
where with Brendan Fraser, where he's looking at his thing. He's like, the temperature's rising. We're not going to be able. Oh, hot, my temperature's rising. What's that song? You know what I'm talking about? No, damn. But Brendan Fraser's looking at his watch. He's like, I think the temperature's rising. We're gonna have to get off here. We're not gonna be able to survive. The plants were able to survive, and that's why the island was so overgrown. But that period of time where the temperature was going to get to a point where it would extinct life, where the kid's father had died on that island, that was the whole thing that we're heading into now. There's going to be probably another extinction period that Bill and I talked about on his show. It's, we had the ice age, we had this, and we had that. There's another one coming. I don't know when it's going to be.
So we got to find the sweet spot.
Gotta fucking live. That's what you got to do. No generation before us cared about the generation after. So let's just keep the chain going. Keep throwing that McDonald's cup out the window. I'm kidding. Don't do that. It's fucking terrible.
Let's enjoy these giant mushrooms and
yeah, your mushrooms will grow bigger. It's amazing. I just want to see a cow with 2 heads. That's all.
Does that happen with the?
No, but nuclear fallout is what I'm hinting at. I'm hoping. Okay. That's terrible. Don't say that. If we bomb everything, honestly, this leads into an even deeper one. Aliens.
You an alien guy?
I wasn't until that Alex Jones episode. Yeah. I always like. I always like I honestly have been tossing out conspiracy theories like I'm a fucking Santa Claus at the parade or something, to tossing out candy to kids, because I like tossing them out there. I think create a bunch of shit in my head and see who the hell believes it. Honestly, some of the times I actually convince myself, and that's what scares me. But Alex Jones said in that episode that Buzz Aldrin has even said that there are aliens. And then now they're talking about they found water on the moon and they found an obelisk on Mars. So I'm like, I don't know.
And they've released UFO shit.
Is it hard to believe? Not with all this shit coming out, but like there's stuff. That's why I say life is like a movie. Is because there's so much ridiculous shit that keeps coming out where you're like, this has got to be something scripted by Hollywood. And it's like, no, it's the life we're actually living in.
That's just Wednesday. Like,
but bam, Buzz Aldrin's a fucking alien person too. So I'm like, he's been up in space. How old is he? First of all, is he senile yet? But still, being up in space, you got to think the government has let you in on a lot of secrets and shit.
Yeah. Especially being like the OG space guy. Like,
I'm just saying, nobody believed in the Bohemian Grove, and then all that stuff came out, and then now we're gonna sit here and deny another thing. I'm like, let's just say perhaps, and then wait 5 years.
yeah. We have through our network, the Inner Circle Podcast Network, we have a show just straight up conspiracies. A lot of the other hosts, it's 3 other hosts, and they have a conspiracy show, and they go off the fucking deep end, like all in on all things alien conspiracy. You should check it out. I'm sure they'd chat too, and be like, get them on yours or go on their show and just dive deep.
You know the easiest way for me to get guests.
Me?
Exactly. You just say your experience. Say I went on this fucking show. I don't know what the hell we talked about, but it was hopefully enjoyable. It wasn't a bad day. I had an okay morning. I had to get up at the crack of crack, and then I had to smoke a little bit and then get on this guy's show.
Unfortunately, this is sober me.
Well, you didn't even tell me really about the podcast. You started going off about Tom Holland, and you started talking
Yeah,
about...
sorry.
What was the shit about the Adam West thing? What are you talking about building a society? Who the hell asked you that question? I didn't toss that out there.
Yeah, so what you're like 570 deep, 5 days a week, guests on every episode. That's incredible.
First of all, I am 5'8", okay? Get it fucking right.
Like, that's incredible. Like, props to you for that. I don't know how you do it.
It's called no sleep and a lot of coke.
Fair. Okay, we'll finally talk about the show.
You got a penguin as your symbol. If I brought up something where your podcast is like, it's about climate change, we talk about how the earth is dying, and I'm sitting here ranting off knowledge from a guy that had been controversial for a very long time, that would be terrible. And then I would also ask you the question, do you have the guy that narrates your podcast that goes, the penguins are in the wobble, and as the wobble escalates to a quicker level, we all die.
Yep, so I don't give a fuck about penguins. It's just the brand, baby. I will say we use the same font, except you use the one with the line in it, and I appreciate that. You use intro line.
Who does?
You.
I do?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's your font. I know it. I know a font when I see it. We got the same font.
What font?
The font of your out of the blank on Instagram. I don't know.
The circle one?
Yeah.
I made that on like a logo maker in like 2019, 2018.
Yeah. And I know what font it is.
I didn't know that. Did you see my microphone picture?
I haven't yet.
Oh, I think I put it on a shirt, but I'm not trying to shamelessly plug my merch. I'm not doing that.
Hey man, shamelessly plug. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
But usually those photos are made through like, I don't know, like a logo maker. No, I made that. My buddy got me a sign. It's actually right over here on the side. It's a light up little neon sign for podcasting. And I like took my vape and I was like, I'm going to blow smoke in front of this while the lights are off. And then I had the light on and then I just put it in a filter thing and then turned up did Instagram filter effects. Honestly, they're so good nowadays. They could be dog shit ugly, but they'll fucking beautify themselves.
Yeah, man. It's like getting these things made. It's turned into like, there's apps for everything. Like you don't have to be an expert to at least get a like decent stuff.
I like the penguin. It's simple. I don't know what it means. I mean, is it kind of like mine where I can be like, it's called out of the blank, but I can put anything to it. Like I have a fucking bear coming out of a chimichanga and people are like, why? I'm like, cause that's the show. You don't know where.
Yeah. So the concept, we're about 3 years in, we're 2.5 years in. About 3.5 years ago, we created the brand. I don't know why, but we were like the Plunge. That sounds like it's one of those like,
Plunge.
Yeah, we're like, oh, we should make a podcast. So we made the brand. We did everything. We never actually hit play for a year. We just had we had all the socials created. Like we kind of locked everything in and then we didn't do shit about it. Fast forward a year, we're like, okay, you know what? Let's actually make this. And then we hit play and we had all the branding ready. And so I can parlay that into this. So here locally, there's an event called the Penguin Plunge. And we kind of took that as a little bit of inspiration. We made our own branding and everything for it. But it's an event where you jump into the ocean pretty much in February. because we're here on the ocean. And all the proceeds for that event go to the Special Olympics in New Hampshire. So after about a year and a half, probably like 70 episodes in, we decided to kind of not partner up, but do that event. So team up and start fundraising for the Special Olympics in New Hampshire to do the Penguin Plunge. I emailed the lady. It was like, oh, we're the Plunge, we're the Penguin Plunge, let's team up.
Get us in there, bro.
Yeah. So last year we did that. And we did that via a 24-hour live stream. So we went nonstop 24 hours of like podcasting. It wasn't really podcasting. It was more of us just trying to be entertaining on video for 24 straight hours in a room.
Did you rotate shifts?
No, it was me and Hunter. So Hunter's my co-host. He's my husband. Because we got married on that live stream.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wait, so he's your legit actual husband? Like this isn't a joke?
So we did have an ordained minister orchestrate a ceremony at the end.
Are you guys actually
it's
lovers?
Not filed. It's not No, we're not. He's my worst enemy, but my best friend.
Oh, I'm thinking like, oh my God, like, cause I found out at the age of like 20, my grandmom was a lesbian my whole life. So I was like, am I
really?
Not? I didn't know. I
have an aunt like that I think, but she's still like, we're waiting,
She's like, you didn't know? I was like, I never asked. She goes, well, good on you. That means you're not against other people loving each other. And I'm like, I guess not. I didn't assume. I thought they were your roommates.
Like grandma's boy.
Well, when I stayed up there, there's like no pictures of each other, around the house. They're like not holding, and I thought they were her roommates. And next thing
is she single? Like she?
No, she is. She was married, but like,
okay.
But for like, she kept having different, like I thought were roommates, and because, but I should have picked up on key features. I look back on it because like I always wondered why when we went out to eat or something, people would always stare at us weird because when I see a girl,
that's just Brenda. It's her best friend.
But when I see a girl, like one was named Chris, she was nice, but she was like a business type. And I thought that's what like some women go out to be like that, wear like a belt, wear pants, wear a tucked in shirt and have like a short haircut and stuff. And then my grandmom's always kind of like been like the feminine one.
Yep.
And I figured when I was staying up there, they slept in the same bed so I could get the spare room because there were only 2 rooms. And now that I look back on it, I was like, there's a bunch of signals I should have picked up on. Yep. My dad's like, well, you never asked. And I'm like, yeah, but I should.
Oh, so your dad knew too.
Yeah, everyone knew but me. Like I just found out in my 20s.
It's incredible.
I wonder if my brother knows. He's older than me, so it'd be cool to ask him.
He's gonna be like, yeah, obviously.
I was fucking out of it. I had friends over and shit, and they were probably knowing it. Nobody
they were like, yeah, dude, check out Robbie's gay grandma.
I hope they didn't say it. Like that'd be terrible.
But yeah, so pretty much before the stream happened, we wanted to do this event. Like we want to be like nonstop 24 hours, just me and him. We'd have like other friends because our show's never really been a guest show. It's been kind of just a talking heads comedy show. We get together every week. We chat, like, catch up, talk about what's going on, different news and shit that might interest us, whatever. So we always have a lot of our friends and people. Any of my friends who like I know are decent on mic, like I'll have on, and if like people like them, like the listeners are like, oh, I like that guy, they'll keep coming back on and stuff. So we had a lot of people just popping in and out. Some of our friends in the local podcasting community stopped in, but it was really just me and Hunter going nonstop for 24 hours trying to be entertaining. It was in this small cold room in my basement because that's where our studio was at the time. That was probably like 8 feet by like 14 feet. Like,
did you wear white shirts?
Wet shirts?
White shirts.
No.
Because it would show your nipples if it was cold.
No, we were pretty.
It's what the audience likes. It's like what the audience likes to see sometimes is the realness. Like they really are cold.
Yeah, they're like, they're not lying. So we did that last December, pretty much beforehand. We thought we were gonna raise like $100, $200 maybe. And we set out, we pretty much sent out like, oh, if you guys raise $1,500, we'll get married. And then we did. Like we hit that mark at like 23 hours. And as that happened, Hunter was covered in peanut butter because we told him at $900 we would lather him in peanut butter. You know the peanut butter baby? The little baby from like the viral videos that like slapped his tummy and went, covered in peanut butter?
No.
You don't know that?
I know what I'm Googling later.
Yeah. All right. So look up peanut butter baby. You'll see it. Pretty much we did that to Hunter, but then we hit our final goal. So then we had to get an ordained minister on the line. And then we had to get married. And I had to fucking make out with this dude while he was lathered head to toe in peanut butter.
Is this live where I can still see
live
it?
On the internet? Yeah.
Like, can I Google this and still see this episode?
It's gonna be at the end. Yeah, I can send you a link and give you a timestamp where it happened.
I want to watch the full thing. I don't care if it's 24 hours. I got nothing to do.
Yeah. So we did that, and out of that we actually created a show. So I told everyone, we're like, we need something to get us through this like midnight to 4 a.m. part. Like,
we spent all our best shit in prime time of the day.
Yeah.
Now it's like we're watching Invader Zim at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is a terrible time for Invader Zim. That's a good show. They should have been on earlier.
Yeah. So what we did is we're like, you guys want to play D&D? So we had our buddy who like has done he's been a dungeon master before. He was like, yeah, dude, I'll do it. I'll be there. And we had a few friends who were like, I'm going to take the day off to come in, like get you guys food. I'll be on to like give you a little bit of a spell to like, essentially like we're going to be on stream, but if people can come in to just relieve us so we can like chill in the background and like pretend like we're listening while they talk, like anything's appreciated. Like, so we had like 9 of us in this small room from like 1 a.m. to like 5 a.m. just playing D&D, and no one had ever played before. And we realized that in itself, because like we call ourselves a fake improv comedy podcast, because like we take shit and go with it. So like it was really funny just for us to like be like, all right, well, you know what? I'd like to give him my shocking grasp. Fuck that goblin. Like, so we were just like going with it, and we realized like, oh, this could be something. So we started making a sideshow called Plungeons and Dragons. And that's a little sideshow we do. It drops every other week.
And it's all for charity.
And that event is all for charity. So we do have next year's coming up. So it's going to be on December 18th and 19th from 7 p.m. to 7 p.m.
My birthday.
Is it?
No.
Oh. So if you guys...
I'll give you a hint on when my birthday is.
It's Christmas.
It's not Christmas. It's the next holiday.
New Year.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve? I'm the day after New Year.
You're the day after New Year, so you're the second?
Yeah. Are you 96?
I'm 97.
Oh, you're 97? Oh, so I'm older than you. Sick.
You look like you're 40.
That's because I'm Owen.
I got the baby face. Now you know I keep the chin hair. But, you know, we literally were off by one day. Our parents would have got paid because the first baby of the new year gets a giant tax break.
Does he?
Yeah, and they get their name in the newspaper and shit. I remember I was supposed to be born on Christmas, but I was, like, way late. And my dad's like, the way he explains me the stories is I was born at, like, 11-something at night.
And he was like, you piece of shit. We almost got a tax break.
It was like the doctor. There was like 2 doctors and a nurse in this hospital, but it was at a New Year's Eve party, which back then makes sense because that was the time period. Like, yeah, fucking, I'm going to go out and party instead of like now today people would like, be all over news and everything. Yeah. But, he was like, the doctor was like, we're doing a C-section, just straight up cutting this fucking thing out. Like, and my dad's like, you could have did this like 5 days ago. I've been sleeping in a hospital chair this whole entire time. And then
like, if you're gonna do it, can you do it 7 minutes later?
Yeah, fucking crazy shit, man. Everybody parties for my birthday to be over, so that's where the depression comes in. I just sit and drink.
So next year though, we're taking it bigger and better. It was really fun to put on like a production because like usually you hop on the mic, you talk, you throw it out there.
Did you put on a wizard robe?
I did put on a wizard robe. I got that back here.
I got this thing I figured out in an episode, like 200 episodes ago. It's called a serape. I've been sitting on it this whole entire time. I had no idea.
If you look over here, you can see my wizard hat.
That's a Mickey Mouse hat. Don't lie to me.
It's a wizard hat.
That's a Mickey Mouse hat.
Someone's at my door.
Well, is that your couch that's supposed to be being delivered?
That'd be sick. Do you mind if I go check real quick? Because no one's ever rang my doorbell before.
Sure.
9-4.
Wait, the UPS guy rang your doorbell?
Yeah, but he didn't even like wait. He was just like, it's here.
Do you remember what we were talking about?
We're talking about the live stream. So
Talking about your wiki wizard Mickey Mouse hat.
it's not a Mickey Mouse hat. It's a wizard hat.
Fine.
My name is Blastoff, the Tefling Wizard.
Merlin.
You're Merlin. I'm Blastoff. And then we have
That's a great movie too, Sorcerer's Apprentice.
We got a poster here.
You're on a poster. You're way better than me. Why are you saying about my episodes? Who cares about my episodes? Look at your thing. Holy shit.
Yeah, so we got posters for Plungeons and Dragons.
I got my face on a t-shirt, but that's about it. I turned it into leggings, but it was really fucking uncomfortable to look at.
You turned them into leggings?
I had my eyes right above where their crotch would be. It was really awkward.
It's incredible. But yeah, so like realizing we put on like this production, it was really fun. And we were like, okay, we did it on a whim. So we were at this event like in November before, and someone brought up like a 24-hour like gaming stream they watched. And I was like, oh, we should do that for podcasting and do the Penguin Plunge. And then like 2 weeks later, we did the event. This year we have like months to plan and get sponsors and try to like up the game on production and be able to do some more shit with it. So that's what we're doing. So this year we're having over 15. Also last year was a lot of like, oh, look at us, like just trying to be entertaining for a while because we had no idea what to do. And this year we're like, oh, we can make this an actual like podcasting community event. So now this year we have this big office space. We're having over 15 different podcasts come in and record their episodes on the stream with us. We're having 2 live musical performances. We're still doing Plungeons and Dragons late night. We call it late night spooky D&D. Because we got that 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. crowd, which is
just getting home or just going out to work.
Yeah. So it was funny last year because we had like probably a group of like 5 people who watched like all 24 hours. And they're like, yeah, man, I'm just laying on my couch at 3 a.m. with this in the background, half dozing off, half not. And it's oddly soothing.
I did that with, there was a 24-hour live stream of like people in the chili pepper community.
Oh,
and like,
okay.
I like, because there's just some of the people I've had on are hot sauce community people.
Yeah.
And I like clicked into it and like they do like a 24-hour, but they would give everybody like a 30 or an hour minute segment.
Yeah.
The dude obviously just like he was doing nothing. He just clicked the thing to switch it over so the person was on video. Then the dude would rant about his product for an hour. I'm like, this is not entertaining at all. I want an entertaining 24-hour live stream where your ass is like drinking Red Bulls and shit. Like, we got to stay awake for 24 hours. We got to do this thing like how they did back in the day. Like, if you don't call in now or you don't donate, I'm going to kill my kids.
So I've been hitting up a lot of companies and stuff we're pretty much trying to sell like donation, like sell ads as donations. Being like, yeah, we'll do this X amount of ads on the stream and on our show, yada, 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 for this X amount of donations. And I've been calling it a modern day telethon. I'm like, yeah, it's like you can, it's the same shit.
My dad, he owns a radio station, but when he was like starting out, like being like a producer manager, production manager, he had to get a tattoo on air. And it's the only tattoo he has.
We still have to. That was one of our goals last year. And we expected like $100. So we said like, we'll all get tattoos at like $600. They knocked it out in the first hour.
Yeah. My, this was back before the tattoos were that amazing.
Yeah.
He got a Kiss tattoo of his favorite band on his arm while he was live on air. And he was like trying his hardest not to scream. Cause like, it was like, he said it was painful because back then that's like shit was new still.
Yeah. I'm nervous because this year in this office building we're doing it at, there's a tattoo artist who's in the office. Like,
are you gonna get, like, a good tattoo?
I know my dumbass is gonna be like, yo, if someone donates $100 right now, we'll get that tattoo guy in here to give us all. I know.
Do you know what you want to get though?
No.
You got to marinate on that one. Get like Tom Holland on your back.
That'd be incredible.
Like Steve-O's tattoo.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to learn more, we're calling it Plunging for a Cause. It's the 2nd annual. We don't know how to word that because is it the 1st annual? Because last year was the inaugural. Is it the 2nd annual? Is it the 2nd? We don't know. We're calling it the 2nd annual Plunging for a Cause 24-hour live stream event. You can go to plungepodcast.com/donate or plungepodcast.com/press to learn more. We have a lot about, so all the proceeds for this, 100% of donations, anything you give goes to the Special Olympics of New Hampshire. We're going to be doing the Penguin Plunge. So we did it last year in February. The day after the Super Bowl, we drove our ass up to Hampton Beach, which is one of the big beaches in New Hampshire. And we gathered with like hundreds of other people and dove into the February Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast.
You.
It sucked. So I wore this big penguin suit, right? And that shit just absorbed the water. I thought it was going to protect me a little. It just absorbed the water. So I was like I was a human. I was within a human ice pack because it just it maintained the water. I got out and just ripped that off.
Now you know how people that don't take their clothes off when they go swimming feel. Like that's just
Yeah.
like that's how people die. Like
Yeah.
whenever
So
you
we
walk
realized,
near like a pool with like a cover over it, I'm always afraid that if you land on that, it's gonna be like you're gonna die immediately.
yeah. So my husband, we made him wear a Speedo and we thought he looked foolish, but then he was the one laughing because he had no sopping wet, like 20-degree
You're already
clothes.
making me cold.
Yeah. So he jumped in the Speedo, had no clothes like sticking to him. So he was just in and out. He's like, cool.
I honestly might be rather super cold than want to be super hot because I feel like you can take things and put them on rather than take them off.
True.
Unless you cut off your skin, that'd be terrible.
But yeah, so this year, our goal is $10,000. We don't think we're gonna reach there, but we didn't think we'd reach it last year. We have some corporate sponsors, so if you're interested, we're doing giveaways every single hour.
All right, Grandma, you're listening. I know you are. You're my one listener. Please donate all of our money into that funding, please. We don't have to go to Six Flags this year.
Yeah, so we're doing a donation. We're doing a giveaway every hour. A lot of our sponsors have sent us some stuff. We have some local sponsors. We went to this distillery that we've done interviews with the owner and stuff, and we've gotten tours of his shop and stuff. And he got our platinum sponsorship. So not only did he write a check with a $500 donation, he then went out back and just gave us 10 bottles of like expensive liquor to like give away and like to use as props and stuff in the event. So we're giving away like 10 bottles of booze. We got some stuff from Manscaped. We got some stuff from BarkBox, some local companies.
Can you say the link one more time where people can find it and donate it?
Yeah, so you can go to plungepodcast.com/donate. You will get a raffle ticket for every $10 donated. There is no cap. You can, if you have one ticket, you'll be entered. So if you donate $10, you're entered into all of our giveaways. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. We got a lot of stuff going. You want to know something crazy? I didn't drink any alcohol, any energy drinks, any caffeine at all during last year's.
Well, you're a natural stimulant, my friend. Talking to you has been like an open ocean. I'll make sure I link it all in the description too, man. I really appreciate you for giving me your time today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Out of the Blank Podcast.